What's up, guys? It's Austin with Hot Rod Heaven. I am back.
I'm sorry.
Cut. This is Austin with Hot Rod Heaven.
You're gonna have to do it again. I'm so sorry. I was just trying to figure out what to do with my hands.
What's up, guys? It's Austin with Hot Rod Heaven. I am back in California for another video here. Today, I'm with Miss Midnight Maverick. At this point, I think between you, me, and my dad, we just started a Maverick cult because we just love these things. We're obsessed. So I'm super pumped to do this car. You had a car before this, another Maverick. There's a story behind that and why you have this car. Do you want to tell me a little bit what happened there and why you have this one now?
My last Maverick, my black car, that one I had since 2012. Started building it 2012 with a stock 302 and blower, nitrous, street raced it, and then wanted to get more competitive, so I put a bigger motor in it. Just, you know, it snowballs.
Yeah,
it always
course.
snowballs with
Totally.
racing. It ended up being really fast. And I had kind of a freak accident where the rear tires spun just as I was letting off at the finish line and put me into the right wall and then head on into the left wall and then back into the right wall, and it's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not gone. I still have it.
Yeah, it's still out here and we'll show it on camera.
Like 10 years of love and you know, my heart and soul put into this thing. I don't want to get rid of it, but it's just a little,
Yeah.
it's a little crunched.
It's tough. Yeah, it's hard to see that. And I'm sure it was pretty nerve-wracking and like a little scary for that to happen. Was that like your first major crash?
I had been in one crash before it, but a very minor at
Yeah.
the like first 60 feet of the
Yeah, yeah. I saw
pass,
the
but-
video of the crash and it did look scary. My butthole definitely would have puckered for sure.
Yeah, I was just waiting to be knocked out the whole time, and I stayed awake the whole time. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Like, it finally came to a stop, and I was just sitting there like, okay,
Yeah, well,
you're still
alive.
Still
You're
here?
Yeah, well, we're happy that you are, and it's super great that you have another Maverick too. So where did you find this? What was the condition? And why did you want to keep with the Mavericks? What's your obsession with it?
Yeah, obsession is definitely the right word.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely the right word. I actually bought this before I crashed my black car. This
Oh,
was supposed
okay.
to be just my street car that I didn't throw all my money at and didn't make faster every time I took out. And it was working out pretty well until I crashed my black car. And
Totally.
then, you know, the need for going faster every time I go out got put into this poor thing.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna do race week with it. Gonna start building a trailer for it tomorrow, actually.
Nice.
But I'm building a whole other Maverick race car so I can leave
Okay.
this one where it's at and not be
Cool.
tempted to put thousands of horsepower into it.
Yeah, exactly.
The motor that's currently in it is a 10-to-1 347 stock block. It came with the car, but I pulled the motor out, pulled the heads off to see what pistons were in it. We degreed the cam to see if I can fit a bigger cam in it. It had an E-cam before, and we put an Anderson N91 in it. I put a Victor Jr. intake on it, and then a FST 750 carb, and then just basically sent it from there. We're currently in the process of building a 12.5-to-1 331 for it.
Okay.
Make a little more power, less cubic inch though, rev it a little higher. It currently has TKX in it, which is Tremec's newest synchronized transmission.
Gotcha.
Really strong, actually. They added a big beefy like center section to it just to kind of keep all the parts together and stop the flex that the other transmissions were having issues with. When we put the other motor in it, the 331, we're going to put TKO 500 in it, which is a face-plated trans, kind of get those gears a little bit better. I'm okay at shifting the synchronized transmission, but I'm not fantastic.
For sure.
So I'm gonna cheat.
Okay, hey, whatever you got to do to make it work. What about the clutch that is running the car too?
We actually run ACT, which isn't very popular in the domestic world. They do more with imports, but they've been really great with us in like experimenting with different compounds.
Cool.
Currently, it has 3,200 pound pressure plate in it with a full face organic disc. Just yesterday, had the whole exhaust done in aluminum. So on my black car, I had Vibrant aluminum mufflers, and I loved them, absolutely loved them. They're super lightweight. Vibrant doesn't make aluminum mufflers anymore. They make titanium now instead, which is much stronger, still just as light. But I was able to find some old Vibrant mufflers so I can put them on there because I just love the sound and just, they're amazing. They're great.
Yeah, sounds awesome. I'm really jealous of the sound of this car, like seriously. So what is the horsepower that you're making on the car?
The last time we dynoed it, probably about 6 months ago. We've done a lot to it since then, but it made 465 to the wheels on Addiction Motorsports chassis dyno. These are RC Components Exile S, but I fell in love with these wheels on my black car, and I just wanted the same wheels on my street car. But I haven't splurged for the rear ones yet. Those ones are just jegs, so we're not gonna look at those right now. That's fine. The backs are a 2610 slick, and the fronts are just front runners. Skinny little tires,
Gotcha.
less drag,
Okay.
more race car.
Totally. And then you said that when you had the car, they had already upgraded the brakes and the suspension, right? What is exactly on there? Do you know?
It's 4-corner Willwood, super huge
Nice.
calipers. I can stop a lot faster than I
Heck
can go. Front suspension is just some coilovers that the previous owner put on it. I haven't done much to the front yet until we put the other motor in it. We're gonna do full K-member, move the shock towers over, do all the fun stuff to fit more fun stuff in. The rear is actually the rear end out of my race car. It's an 8.8 out of a Fox body Mustang, narrowed about an inch on each side as opposed to like the factory Maverick size. It's got 9-inch ends on it, so I don't have to deal with C-clip eliminators, 35 spline axles. It's really beefy, especially for a car that only makes 465 horsepower. So the rear suspension is everything that was on my black car as well. It's all of Calvert's suspension system for a leaf spring car, split monoleafs, Caltrack bars. It actually has a custom little bracket for the Caltracks made by our friend Gary that works at Calvert, since they're out by us. It'll eventually get Menser rear shocks because I like Menser and they make the best shocks ever.
Gotcha.
Not a sponsor, they just make the best shocks ever.
So let's talk about the interior a little bit. Definitely a little bit different from my Maverick because it's got a bench seat and everything. Did these come with the car?
These didn't come with a car. These are actually out of my black car too. This is like the hand-me-down car.
Okay.
When my black car went full race car, I took the seats out and didn't want to sell them, so I just wrapped them in plastic and put them in storage.
Okay.
Because I knew I'd have another Maverick. I'm a collector.
For sure.
I only have 6, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I knew one would need them eventually.
Totally.
We're not gonna, don't look too closely. This car looks great from afar.
I love that you still have like the original dash in there. The cluster here, that's not original, is it?
Not original. There's actually somebody on Facebook, goes by Tim Blum. He's in all the Maverick forums and he makes custom clusters. He restores clusters. This one, he took a tack and integrated it into the stock cluster.
Wow.
So I can have a tack in the dash. One of my main goals with this car is to look and feel like a street car as much as possible. I don't want switches. I don't want a tack screwed to the dash. I don't want gauges anywhere. I want to get in and drive it, and I don't want it to look like a race car.
What about the steering wheel on the car? Is that from the black car as well, or?
It's not. That steering wheel came on it. We're probably going to do a whole column, different wheel and all that when we do the front end. The shifter is actually the first ever TKX short throw shifter made by Hanlon Motorsports. They're actually a sponsor. They reached out to me and wanted me to try it out. I've been having, not necessarily issues, but I've just been beating myself up on wanting to shift faster. And they saw my YouTube videos and said, hey, I think this is going to help. And they wanted me to try it out. And it's amazing because it helps me shift a lot faster. But my husband misses second gear every time now. So now I'm better than him at driving the car.
Well, cool. I think that wraps it up. I say we get like a camera in here and go for a cruise.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Let's go. Before we hop in the ride, we do have some shirts for sale. So if you want to support the channel, keep this thing going, we have that linked in the description below. Help support the brand. Now let's get back to the video. That was still so much fun.
I'm used to doing that with nitrous, so it was like, man, that was a really soft launch. We're gonna get out of the hole eventually. When do I shift into second?
Oh my gosh, I would do that literally every single day.
It's really fun.
Yeah, that is amazing. What kind of got you into like racing and getting into cars anyways?
Growing up, my dad would build pre-runners for like the Baja 500, Baja Bugs and all that. But in high school, I was in auto shop my senior year at Pomona Raceway. They do a high school, all the high schools get together, all the auto shops.
Oh, nice.
They do like a engine build off and they have a bunch of cars go down the track.
Oh, that's super cool.
So I had like a big truck and I went out and bought a Mustang after that.
Nice.
Yeah.
What got you into Mavericks though? Because like it's such a...
It's weird.
It's a weird car. Nobody really I mean, yes, there are a handful of Mavericks out there, but they're pretty rare. So like what started your obsession with the Maverick?
I've always loved a good 67, 68 fastback Mustang.
Yeah.
I've never had the funds for it.
Yeah, no, totally. They're so expensive.
But I was watching Streetcar Super Nationals one year, and Eric Aldrich has the most beautiful red Maverick, and he won a race that year, and he would do a wheelie every time, and he was like the coolest dude I've ever seen at a race. So I got hooked. Yeah, bought my first Maverick for $1,000, and that was it. Yeah.
Really? That's so sick. Was the black car, is that the one that you've had the longest, or?
That one I bought in 2012.
Oh wow, okay. And then you've just been kind of collecting them ever since then? Was it just for like spare parts, or do you just like want to have Mavericks?
It's pretty public knowledge that I'm obsessed with Mavericks. So I'll get messages every once in a while like, hey, I have this Maverick, do you want to buy it?
Yeah.
It's $500 or $1,500, and I'm always like, that's a great deal.
Yeah.
I'm a girl, I can't pass up like a good coupon discount, you know? So I have to.
Instead of buying a bunch of clothes, you just buy a bunch of Mavericks.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh man, I love Mavericks so much.
You need a stick shift car.
I know, for real. I kind of want to make, because I kind of want to get an F100, I kind of want to make that like a stick shift. And just be ruthless with it.
They're fun.
Yeah,
Really
no,
fun.
it really is.
Even 12-second cars are fun with stick shift.
Totally, because you're just slamming gears. Even if it's not anything crazy, it's still just adrenaline. My cheeks hurt. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and Tess, thank you so much for
Thank you
letting
for
me
having
do this.
me.
Of course. Tell all the people here in the camera watching you, where can they find you, what socials? Tell us where it's at.
Miss Midnight Maverick on everything. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of the TikTok.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll put that down in the description below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you next time.